Hey, we're glad everybody's tuned in that are watching today, and we hope you're tuned in. And we're planning on starting a new channel. It's going to be called Talkin Live Music. And we want you to bear with us. We'll have to fix it where you can go in and pick out what you want to listen to it. Or we're going to have a catalog, and, it'll take time. I want you to understand. But you can listen to some music on our channel, Talkin Live. But we're going to try to fill it with more talk shows and other things that you might be interested in. Like today is such a day of unjust for Donald Trump. And same thing for, I think, Alex Baldwin is getting a shaft too on what happened to him. So today is a day that it's just so disgusting that one person can do something and have special privileges, like, the same thing they're trying to get Donald Trump for, Joe Biden has done. And I'm thinking, our congressmen and our senators and all that, and our presidents, not saying Donald Trump's perfect, but I'm saying he's the best we got for the country. But everybody just kind of, it's all right to do this, it's all right to do that. Oh, you can do this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You're a Christian, you can do that. Blood covered it all. I mean, there's this stuff that people are doing today that they justified with, and it just blows my mind that, Donald Trump's cause of Iran attacking Israel. I mean, just stupid stuff like that. What does Donald Trump have to do with it? He's not the president. I mean, and it just goes on and on and on. People they act like there's no such thing as the truth or justice at all anymore. You wonder, where did America go? Our FBI are doing stuff underhanded, trying to take protection away from Donald Trump. Oh, they hate him. They want to get rid of him so bad, and I don't put them past doing anything. And see, if it was Joe Biden being prosecuted and persecuted because he was a Democrat, it'd be a big deal, wouldn't it? Well, Hunter, he's Joe Biden's son, so he's supposed to get a pass. He can't be guilty. And I'm talking about justice. I ain't talking about the person necessarily. It's people that are prosecutors want to put somebody in prison because of who they are and what they stand for. I mean, I have to say this about Alex Baldwin. They're trying to railroad him for an accident. And other people's had accidents. Well, because he's Alex Baldwin, we got to get him. There's no excuse. He just murdered somebody intentionally. That's the way they look at it. But it's not true. It was an accident. I think, a lot of things like the records for Donald Trump that he had in his house and down in Mar-a-Lago, I think that was put in there when they started moving. Now, when I start moving, I'm going to move out of a building over here, and I got a lot of records, I got a lot of files. I don't pack the suckers up. I just tell them pack it all up. And if I take something out of there, and I told them to throw it away, and there's it, or I shred it or whatever, put it in my office or pack it up, shrink wrap it, put it on a pallet, you know. Oh, for instance, my tax record. I keep my tax records for 7 years. You're supposed to keep your tax records. Well, I pack them up and I take them out. And if I leave anything and I go back to look for it, and I pay my employees to pack it up, I decided to move out of this building. I need all my records moved. And I move them to a place, and they move the wrong records. They don't do exactly what I say, and then just suppose they threw away all the tax papers. And they come in there and they said, well, where's your taxes for the last so many years and this year? Well, they're supposed to be there. Well, no, they're here. We asked the employees, we thought you didn't want them, so we threw them away. But then, that's a criminal offense for something like that. It's a possibility. See, everything's a possibility. Everything's not a crime. If you're Donald Trump. And you got the right to like Biden or like Donald Trump because it's supposed to be a free country. It ain't going to be much longer, though. If we keep having things going on in this administration we're having now. I've seen where Joe Biden, he blocked all the millions of acres. You can't drill for oil. Gas prices up. And I got a guy coming out of Alaska that's going to help us in the studio here, work for us. He told me gas is $5 a gallon up there. I mean, it's getting way out of hand. And I'm going to tell you something. Donald Trump says he's going to straighten this country out if he gets to be president. Well, he better get on his knees and ask for help because he can't do it all by himself. You can't do nothing. When things get so out of place, you cannot do it all by yourself. And you can't expect somebody else to do it all by themselves. It takes people to come together in the government. And, there's Marjorie Greene. I like Marjorie Greene. I'll vote for her. But sometimes it's kind of time to chill a little and make sure we win the election as Republicans. And, I do expect some things for Donald Trump to do if he gets elected. If he don't do it, then I'll lose my confidence in him. But he done nothing to make me lose. There's one thing he did I didn't like. When he was president, he let these big shots, these rich people go down in Africa and kill animals for a trophy. I don't go for that crap. I don't go for mistreating any animal or hurting any animal or hurting a kid or hurting But that's one thing I didn't like about it. And then, of course, I look at the things that's going on in America today, and then I look back and in there, and I look at my business. I know what I was doing and how much money I was making, and then I look over here and see these people get this $20 raise out in California for in McDonald's and all that. It ain't doing them a bit of good. Because Joe Biden is stealing them blind and giving it away. He's giving away our country. He's giving our way of life away. God said this to earth. If you remember when he created this earth, multiply and be fruitful, right? Well, when he told that earth that, he told the plants, he told the trees, see, they bowed to him People don't realize how great God is. When Jesus coming back, he created all things. The trees, animals, everything's going to bow to him. See, you cut God slack of how big he is, people do. And he's for the right thing. I like to see the Bibles back in the schools. I like to see the teachers all fired that they're going to come out there and tell a kid that there's a girl, a boy's a girl, and a boy, a girl, he's a boy. I mean, she's a boy. I like to see that. I like to see the preachers quit bagging and bumming for money and playing like they're prophets or apostles, they're prophecies. I like to just get in the Bible and tell it like it is. I listened to one preacher the other day, Geno Jennings. I like the way I think he's on the right track, but then I think he's a kind of racist too. So everything he's doing is in vain if he's racist. If you hate your a woman or man or a human being because of their color, the race, and you call yourself a preacher or an apostle or a bishop, then all you do is in vain. All you say, everything you try to preach, it's all vain if you hate somebody. And Joe Biden, he goes to church, you know that? He goes to church and he hates Donald Trump. Congress up there, they go to church, but they hate Donald Trump. And they'll talk about the Lord. The Bible said you ain't even seen God if you hate your brother. And, I just get so sick and tired of the way the world's going today. People are so confused, they don't know which way to go. The church, these false prophets got the churches confused. Our government's got everybody confused. The devil's got everybody so confused and so messed up in the head they don't even know which way they're going or where. It's God's truth. People say, kill yourself, you go to heaven if you've been saved. That's not true. You can't repent after you're dead. After you commit a crime, and it's a crime to God to kill yourself, you bust hell wide open. And that's not theology, that's nothing but what the Word of God says. I differ. I believe what I learned from the beginning. I'm 75 years old. What I seen and what I see now don't meet the requirements of the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm talking to you politicians too. You just got power with what God gives you. That includes you, Joe Biden, all the Democrats. Democracy. Oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about Donald Trump's trying to destroy democracy. What is democracy? Democracy is a group of people that agree on one another and work together for the best for the country. That's what I think it means. I believe there's a lot of things to some people that say things that I don't like them, but I have to admit if they're telling the truth, I have to accept it, even though I don't like them. When I go to the gas pump, then and somebody tells me this economy's great, and I see that price on that gas tank, then the old saying, they're peeing down my neck and tell me it's raining. You ever had that saying? And I'll tell you what, Biden's got a busted bladder, and it's running down our necks, and we don't think he's telling the truth. But we have others that are getting drowned by that bladder of his. It busted wide open, running down these people's neck, and they just, you're right. I've done so much for the economy. Yes, this is what I've done for you. And I'm defending everybody that has an effect, that this affects. There's people working for $10, $8 an hour and can't even buy groceries for their family because the cost of houses to live in. That's why you got a bunch of greedy rich people jack the rent up and take advantage of poor people. That's why you got so many people on the street. I mean, they're living in that doped up world that they think it's going to last forever, but it's going to end one day, and it's going to be all over. No turning back. When you go to the grocery store and you see things jump up $1 for one item, then you think about Joe Biden. I've done so much for this country. Oh, wow, he's done so much. I didn't mean to start out on Joe, but he's a lying sucker that ever was. His administration's liars. His FBI's a liar. Not all of them. We got cops out there risking their life, and the more they risk their life, the more Joe puts a burden on them. We got cities and all that stuff wanting to defund the police and say it's, they're the one that needs defunding. They need to be kicked out of office. Of course, we got a bunch of idiots vote in the idiots. You can't get rid of the idiots till you get rid of the idiots. You got to get rid of the idiots to put them in the office, then you got to get rid of the idiots in the office. And sometimes, not calling everybody an idiot. Everybody ain't an idiot. They're just misled. America's been misled by Joe Biden and you people with Microsoft and all these other big corporations. It don't affect you. It don't hurt you. It's hurting the little man. Why should a person that's making $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year pay taxes? And I'm not saying put all the tax burden on the rich. Like Joe says, which is a liar, he's putting in all the tax burden on the poor and the middle class. He's expecting us as Americans to support the whole world, sending all this money to Israel. Israel, I love Israel. I love your country. I love your country because of Jesus Christ and the prophets and all. But I don't love you to take money. You're rich. Jews are rich. Not all of them. There's a lot of poor Jews. See, that's the problem. People think Jews are all rich. They're not all rich. But they have the assets to pay for their own war. But I want you to know that we're being invaded and we're being drained dry. Insurance for cars, business, small businessman, being drained because of Joe Biden. Of course, most of them's crooks anyway, the insurance company. They want you to pay them premiums, but when you have a settlement, they don't want to pay it then. You pay hospitalization, you get health insurance, you get too sick, they'll try to cut you off. It's all about money for them, hooray for them, and hell with you. And hell's a word that people are going to in a place nowadays because they are so cruel to people, other people. Oh, and you elderly people out there, you're drawing a little bitty check and getting a few dollars of stamps, and you think maybe, Joe's going to do it, and he talks the crap. You know, when Joe Biden got elected, he sat in his basement, and he won an election, right? Which I ain't going to get into that. Well, it's too late for that anyway. But I'm telling you, he sat in his basement. He didn't campaign. He didn't do nothing. When somebody asked him what he's going to do when he got to be president, he wouldn't even say nothing. Because he'd already planned to screw us all. He had already planned to bankrupt this country, and that's why he wouldn't tell American people what he's going to do. He had already planned on opening the borders and destroying our country with our immigrants that come over here illegal. He had already planned that. He already planned to stop the oil from flowing so that we could have to pay higher prices. The truckers have to pay higher prices to bring it from the West Coast and from Florida and all the different places that we had. He had it planned to suck up the money and give it to other countries and not help the farmers and all the people who's in desperate need. Farmers having to pay all this extra money for feed, all this extra money for diesel to run their equipment and gas. He had it planned to blind the people and make them think the economy's good. Will you tell me what person that's struggling to live right now because of the high prices is happy about Joe Biden? And then they want to put Donald Trump in jail. He's bringing burdens and causing people to be on the street, throwing people out of hotels that paid taxes that's there, and putting in people that never worked a day in their life here and probably won't never work a day in their life. Not all of them. Mexican people are hard workers. Spanish people are hard workers, but there's a bunch of dope addicts and drunks and whore hopping, slut puppies and everything in that bunch that's coming across the border. There's terrorists and everything you can think of coming across the border. But Joe's looking out for America, ain't he? He's got in his mind to bankrupt this country, and if something don't change, he'll do it before we get a new president. If we get one, people have lost confidence in our government. Got the FBI working against what's right. Won't take away the security for Donald Trump. He deserves security just like Jimmy Carter down there deserves it. Robert Kennedy Jr., he needs Secret Service to watching him. He's running for president. I don't even know the politics of Robert Kennedy, but I know that I liked his uncle. Not everything. I know he had balls. He stood up to our enemies. He had balls. You know what balls is? It's people that believe in what's right and they stand up for it. They don't go whining around and whimpering around and say, I can't do nothing about it. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about standing up for the person that's best for the country. I don't care for what race they're from or what. But if you got somebody in there, I hear black people in Congress talk about racists. I get so sick and tired of hearing that. That's their excuse for doing wrong. I'm sick of it. And if you as American people are not sick of it, then you'll never be. You'll just go down the drain with the rest of the people, and you'll wind up homeless, starving to death. You know, see, Joe took all he could get away with of our strategic oil, sold it to China. Now he wants to go down and take our tax dollars and buy the oil, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia. And we got billions of barrels of oil here in the United States. He wants to take your tax dollars and spend it on our enemies. That's what he's doing. Take the blinders off and look around you and see what's going on. Donald Trump don't deserve what he's going through. It don't matter if he's a trillionaire, billionaire, or if he's just an old poor man. He don't deserve what he's went through. From the day he got elected to the day he left office, he don't deserve it. He's spending his own money to stay out of jail because you're crooked communist Democrats trying to destroy your competition, just like Joe Biden said that Putin killed this man because he was competition. Joe, you're just like him or worse. Take it and swallow it. God bless all.
The views and opinions expressed on all Talkin' Live presentations are those of the host and their guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Talkin' Live TV broadcast studio, or by this channel or its management.